¿Qué tal, amigos? This is LatiNation Football Club, and I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and this week we have a banger of a show. That's right, this week we had so much football to go over. We had Leagues Cup taking over the airwaves all week long. Great games between MLS and Liga MX teams, and we are approaching the top four. That's right, we also are tracking every transfer and previewing La Liga because they're about to begin in Europe with this amazing tournament. For some, the best domestic league in the world. And we're gonna finalize with our predictions for the Ballon d'Or and our report on women's soccer. But we have to begin somewhere, and that's why I'm here with El Chiva Mayor and Alex Crespo, my great team of collaborators. And Chiva, I see you dressed to the nines, happy because there's some big news around the black and gold, although eliminated from the Leagues Cup. And that's where we're gonna begin, guys. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm doing good, even though we're eliminated from the Leagues Cup. I think it's an amazing week for the Angelinos, for the black and gold people. You know, great news all over the place.
That is right, my good friend Alex. Are you happy with the performance from Miami?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they've been winning both games. The first one a little bit close with a penalty shootout, but with a last-minute goal from Alba, and then Rodrigo de Paul showing his class, 2 assists and 1 goal in these 2 first games. I mean, come on, like you can't ask for anything more than that.
Rodrigo de Paul ruining the party para mis Pumitas, eliminated. Ya no me queda gallo en esta pelea. No Pumas, no ALFC. So let's go and see who are the team that we're still supporting because there have been big eliminations. Let's start there. Fracaso total de la Liga MX. Los 4 grandes, Pumas, Cruz Azul, América y Chivas, all eliminated from the competition, Chipa.
Which, by the way, I'm sad to say this, and look at my face. Chivas has never won a Leagues Cup ever since the tournament started. They have an opportunity against Cincinnati, which, by the way, have beat Chivas twice, 3-1 already. So, you know, I mean, but I don't think there's a bigger disappointment than losing 7-0. 7-0 versus Seattle. I think Cruz Azul la Cruz Azulió and put the Mexican Liga aquí, en el suelo.
And that's how it began, right? Like with Cruz Azul putting a very bad example. And then after that, we saw that the MLS teams, not even the biggest one, the middle of the table and the lower of the table teams really put the Mexican teams against the ropes. Now, let's move on to the results. I want to talk a little bit about the Pumas versus Miami game. Pumas, unfortunately, was treated to some trickery from the desk because Miami was able to appeal a red card, allowing their center back to come back. That was not the case with Pumas that couldn't have Keylor Nava. Maybe it wouldn't have made such a difference because Miami was a clear winner on the match. But do we still see a little bit of help there for Miami?
You will always see that. With Messi being in the MLS, and even though he wasn't playing, let's say that, I mean, Miami's going to get the help. They want Miami to win it. They want Messi to have another trophy. Yes, Alex, they do. So, yeah, we're going to see it.
De Paul had a particularly good performance in this game. He really feeling for the lack of Messi in the pitch. What are your impressions, and do you feel that now that De Paul is there, Miami now is unstoppable?
I mean, I think this is a very key part to their midfield. I think that with Busquets just there, I think this is going to complete that midfield dominance for them. They are on a good run right now. I think De Paul is adjusting to this league immediately, perfectly. I mean, he was able to step into that plate for Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba, who were not there. But him and Luis Suarez, I mean, they both had an outstanding performance. Luis Suarez celebrating with the little hat and everything, which was awesome to see. But, I mean, I think that this is just a preview to what we're going to see in the league later on this season.
And it's very important to have a healthy and effective Luis Suarez, especially when Messi is sitting out. We will see more of this game management for Messi as we progress on the league. Now, let's talk about the teams that are out from MLS. LAFC, unfortunately, it's out. Cincinnati, another team that I was expecting to be right on top. Is this a failure for these big teams from MLS, Chiva?
Of course. You know, you got teams like Columbus, LAFC, Cincinnati, top teams of the MLS. Out of a tournament where only 4 from each league can qualify. And it's sad to see them up, but at the end of the day, you know, this is a tournament that is growing. I think it's a tournament that has a lot of potential. but unfortunately for the leagues, the tennis hasn't been the best. But look, when people get excited about Mexico versus USA, and I think that little by little it's only gonna get better.
I think that one of the successes of the League's Cup is the viewership. I think people are really tuning to watch this game. The attendance in the stadiums is tricky because these games have been played on Tuesdays and Thursdays, making it hard for people to go. But the quality on the pitch sometimes has been electric. A lot of red cards, meaning that these players have been putting it in the line. They do not want to lose. Now, there's things to improve. Like if you have 18 teams for each bracket, you're making 14 teams, spend a week competing for nothing, and that could be hard on the planning for the leagues, the domestic leagues. Now, Chiva, what can be done for this league to really take its place as the premier club competition in North America?
We saw some changes from last year. I think it was a little bit of improvement, but if we really want to take it to the next level, it has to be, home and away. I think that will make it electrifying. That will make it way, way better for everybody. For us as supporters that love to travel around the world, especially going to Mexico to play a Mexican team, I think we'll only make it better. It will be a better experience for everybody. Maybe a little bit more complicated, but I think it's doable, kind of like a Copa Libertadores, and I think that will take the tournament to the next level.
That's right, Chiva. One of the main complaints for the Mexican teams is exactly that they have to come from Mexico and spend a week here away from their families, playing with very little turnaround. Whereas the MLS teams, they can just go and play from home, like it was the case for LAFC, in the case in Miami. They were just having the regular schedule, right? So this needs to be fixed so it seems like a more fair competition. But the fans are happy with the product because they get to see some legendary Liga MX teams with the up-and-coming MLS franchises that are now taking the airwaves by storm, the headlines. And talking about headlines, Chiva Mayor, as a fan of MLS football, as a fan of LAFC, we should all be happy because we brought a top player to the league. Chiva, you were there representing LatiNation Football Club. Who is the new player for the Black and Gold?
The one and only, the Tottenham legend, Sonny, o el Cristiano Ronaldo de Sur Corea, como yo le digo. Sonaldo. He's with the Black and Gold. And let me tell you a little story about it.
Yeah.
7 years ago, he came to Los Angeles for the first time ever. We welcomed him, and I actually gave him a Mexican sombrero, thanking him for the miracle that they did for the Mexican national team. But our only goal back then was for him to fall in love with Los Angeles. Hopefully one day he can come and play for the Black and Gold. Well, yesterday was the presentation, or this week was the presentation of Sonny, and he's so happy to be here, and he made the right choice, and I'm super excited. I think that now we have a team that can be a contender for winning championships.
Without a doubt, like I said, this is the caliber of transfers that MLS needs. Players are experienced, that proven superstars, but also that come with many years in the tank to show their quality and to mentor the younger generations of MLS. Now, are you now becoming an LAFC fan? Are you saying a Galaxy fan? I know that you haven't really, claimed colors in MLS. This shift your opinion?
I think so, a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because Sonny is one of those world-class players that you just can't help but love. I mean, I don't think that guy has at least one hater in this world. I mean, lifting up the trophy with Tottenham after having so many years without one, this is a truly impactful player for LAFC. I think that this is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, transfer after Messi, obviously, in the MLS. And I think this is going to completely change the dynamic of LAFC. I think this is making them a very good contender for the league and the MLS Cup, so we'll see how it goes.
Now we see champion DNA coming from Tottenham into the Black and Gold. Now we have two former captains of the Hotspurs in the team. So I expect this to just trickle down into the team, becoming a high caliber team and the dominating force that all of the Black and Gold fans expect. But with this, we have to go on a break, my friends. You are watching LatiNation Football Club, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking about Ballon d'Or. We're gonna be talking about the transfers that are happening all around the world and our own preview of La Liga. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where he drafted quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shadur's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shadur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. We now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him, plus Pavetta, plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth of the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it, I do. Sometimes I get caught up in the Padres of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
¿Qué tal, amigos? We are back here in LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and it is time for us to start previewing the European domestic leagues. And that's why I'm here with my good friend, Shiva Mayor. How are you, my friend?
I'm super excited. Football is coming back. You know, we need that European football to wake up at 5, 4 in the morning and watch those EPL games.
That is right. And what fuels all the emotion behind the beginning of the season? No other than the transfers. Yes, the transfers are hot, and they have been a lot of money. Billions of dollars have moved this market this season. And our very own Alex Crespo is here with the report. Alex, what's happening in the financial world of football?
Oh my God. We got to talk about it. We have been seeing some beautiful, beautiful transfers. Futboleros, we are back with some crazy transfers that went down this week from the Premier League to the MLS. Just the beautiful game has gotten way more exciting. We're breaking it down league by league. Now, vamos al Premier League, where Manchester United have made a bold move for the future of their attack, signing Benjamin Sesko. The 21-year-old Slovenian striker has been racking up goals up in Germany, and now he's heading over to Old Trafford, a stadium with a lot of history. Now, what do you guys think of this change in the attack for United? Do you think it's going to make the difference?
Whatever it takes for Manchester United to finally be back as that, top team in the Premier League, we need it. We need some changes, and we're hoping that this Slovenian striker can bring those goals that Chicharito used to bring to the pitch.
Unfortunately, I'm very skeptical of anything that Manchester United does because, unfortunately, for the last 4 or 5 seasons, they've been terrible at the transfer market, throwing money at a crazy rate with very little results. I like the Chelsea style so much better because they got results. Now, what's happening in La Liga, Alex?
Over in La Liga, Villarreal are bringing in Thomas Partey from Arsenal. The Ghanaian midfielder brings tons of experience and grit to the Yellow Submarine.
Mi querido Alex Crespo, suavemente, ¿qué tenemos en Italia?
Claro, Chiva, suavemente te digo que ahora en Italia, AC Milan continue to make moves to strengthen up their midfield and signing international Ardon Khashari from Club Brugge. The youngster will be joining Luka Modric in that midfield para dominar el centro campo.
Excited, Lukita Modric going to Milan, joining Santi Jimenez, el goleador Azteca. And I think that, it's exciting for Italy to have these type of signings. Hopefully they can finally be a top league like before. Unfortunately, I think they're far, far away.
We have to go with our friend Nik Z that will be telling us everything that we need to know for the upcoming season of La Liga.
All right, guys, that's right. The wait is over for European football. It is back, and we're kicking things off, as Marce just said, in Spain, because we are exactly 1 week away from the return of La Liga. So we're going to break things down, see how things are shaping up as we head into the season so you can have a better idea of how things should unfold. Of course, all eyes are on the Spanish giants, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Barcelona are coming into this season strong, potentially with a lot of depth. Not potentially, definitely. 18-year-old Lamine Yamal, wearing the iconic number 10 jersey this year around after a jaw-dropping treble-winning season at 18. He's already getting whispers of this Ballon d'Or potential, which is absolutely amazing. He's going to be joined by new signings as well. Joan Garcia signed for approximately $25 million, not a small chunk of change from Espanyol, as well as Rooney Bargi joining from Copenhagen for 2.5 mil as well. And of course, the new man getting a lot of attention here is Marcus Rashford. Only got to help, right?
The spoil of riches for Barcelona. But as we saw in the preseason, Rashford brings a very unique dynamic to the front third of Barcelona, and I believe that he will make a difference if they are able to register him. You know, the Ter Stegen novella that is happening. He's been, stripped out of the captaincy of the team because he doesn't want to sign the paper that gets Rashford in the roster. What else is happening in La Liga, Nick?
It wouldn't be La Liga without some drama, with some financial drama like that. All right, so yes, when you're thinking about how Barcelona is going to fare head-to-head, keep in mind something similar to what Marce was just saying. Under Hansi Flick, their attack has been described as Europe's most formidable, thanks to aggressive pressing, fluid movement, this sort of blend of youth with Yamal, Rafinha, and then experience with Lewandowski. They tallied 122 goals plus assists last season alone, just those few players. So, with Rashford joining now into the mix, he's expected to be used mainly off onto the left side in Hansi Flick's attacking setup, where he can kind of cut in, use that right foot where he's obviously stronger. So when thinking about betting, when looking ahead into the season for Barca and analyzing your over-under prop lines, as well as those those scoring trends rather, know that Lewandowski among the favorites for La Liga's top goal scorer, Rafinha up there as well. Barcelona scored 174 total goals across all competitions, with 102 in the regular season of play alone. So expect the same kind of dominance as last season, but more aggression.
That's right, Nick. Barcelona is for sure the favorite. The odds makers all around the world are putting them as the favorite to win La Liga next season, but you cannot discount Real Madrid, although it's clear two different curves. We see Barcelona in a clear rebirth and Real Madrid on a decline. But what do you have? Is the merengues trying to do something to maintain that dominance?
Yeah, we're actually seeing some mixed opinions on this, and it's very interesting depending how you look on it. Glass half full, glass half empty kind of thing. So, speaking of the markets, Barca at this point, actually by some measures, not even favored by the markets to win the league, because sleeping giants, and I call them that, Real Madrid, and I'm only calling them that because they wrapped up the 24-25 season not so great, trophyless in La Liga, finishing second and missing out in both domestic cups, Champions League, their exit in the Club World Cup. Oof, that was rough. But despite all of this, all eyes are on the rebuilding of Madrid under Xavi Alonso as head coach. You talk about depth there with Barcelona, but look, this transfer campaign so far has been crazy. Trent Arnold, Dean Huijsen, Alvaro Carreras already in. Real's squad officially valued at 1.3, just over 1.3 billion euros, the most valuable club in the world. So again, we're talking about a lot of money here, as we always do with Real Madrid. But with Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Valverde, Gonzalo Garcia, and Rodrigo, it's hard to see how this squad isn't going to do absolutely amazing. But yes, they are sort of in this rebuilding period, as you've kind of just alluded to.
And I think that is going to be tough because new coach, new ideas, new roster, is too much change. Whereas Barcelona, it seems like they do have a couple of seasons ahead where these players are already gelling, already creating great performances.
Mbappe strongly backed for the league's top scorer in the market. I think I would agree with that. He was the top scorer last year around. I don't see him having slumped in any way. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Back to you, Marce.
Thank you, Nick. And with that, we have to go on a break. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to be talking about the National Women's Soccer League and La Final de Copa América Femenina. I'm Marcelino Ortiz, and we'll be right back.
they're in a decent spot. They actually had a really great quarter this past quarter, and they're crediting what they're calling a smarter approach to sports betting and player quality, not just being lucky and being on the winning side of more bets. Of course, the past 2 quarters have been really bad for sports books, which just got hammered in the NFL playoffs, and then that continued into March Madness. But it looks like Q2 is shaping up to be much better for them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Joey Ohtani's only seen him 7 times, 7 at-bats. He's got a home run against him. I've been pretty good at jumping in and out with Ohtani. I don't take him to hit a home run every day. The odds are good enough tonight, Scott, at plus 230 to entice me. I've got a bet on Ohtani's season home run prop at 43.5, which, he's nearly there.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pavetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where you draft a quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shadur's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? We are back here in LatiNation Football Club. I'm your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and it is time to talk about the National Women's Soccer League. Yes, the NWSL, because this weekend they have great games, and one of them is the Clásico Californiano, San Diego Wave against the ACFC. These 2 very, very famous franchises, one of them famous for the play, and the other one famous for the stands. Both Chiva, Alex, Clásicos are clásicos, and these will define at least ACFC possibilities to make it to the playoffs. Alex, what are your expectations for this game?
I mean, I think it could go either way, but Angel City has not been on a good run lately. I mean, they haven't won a game in the last at least 5 games. They only had draw 1, and San Diego is on a roll right now. So I think this is definitely a game for San Diego to win.
But it's un clásico, it's a derby. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter if the one team is at top and the one at the bottom. When it comes to a match and a derby, the lower team, sometimes they manage to win those games. I mean, Angel City comes to the last game between them. Angel City 1-1, and you can expect anything from these games. It doesn't matter what position they are in the standings, and we're hoping for a great game.
Are you talking about like the Galaxy LAFC game?
Exactly, that's a perfect example.
The beef is real here in LatiNation Football Club, and in my case, I am very much looking forward to see the Thompson sisters, these very young, very exciting players, to battle it out with San Diego. Now, we have other games that are important. We have Orlando Pride, the current champions of the NWSL, against Racing Louisville. Now, Marta comes very inspired, very renovated after winning Copa America with Brazil, the best in the world. Some say just like Marta, only Pelé. But we see that team is still 10 points away from the first place. They're in second place, and they're fighting to have a bicampeonato, a difficult one. Chiva, do you feel like Marta is in that stretch of her career where she's going to win it all because it's the final part?
Definitely. She wants to bring everything that counts, up to her. And I think Orlando, they've been doing a great tournament. I mean, they're 10 points apart, but, they're second place. They're still out there. Like you said, Marta comes from winning La Copa America, and I think it's only going to get better for them. Louisville is on 7th place. They're still on the playoffs, but they also need to win if they want to keep going up on the standings. It's going to be an exciting match. Who doesn't love to see Marta play?
Y hablando de Marta y trofeos, we have to do a deep dive on the final de Copa América Femenina because it was, for me, the best game of the summer. Alex, let's retell a little bit of the highlights, how this dramatic game came to be and that massive goal from Marta herself.
I mean, if you wanted a back and forth game, this was it. Puros golazos. I mean, in the full time, we had a last minute goal from who else but Marta herself to tie it up 3-3. And then they go into overtime just with the stakes so high that Colombia, último minuto, in the 115th minute, golazo de free kick. Oh my God. And then penalties, the most stressful part of it all, ending in 5-4 for los Brasileras. Pero, I mean, this was, honestly, if you missed this game, you got to go watch those highlights.
You did miss on a big game. And now, Chiva, I want to talk to you about something very important. Marta was one of the leading voices on the complaint, and it was seconded by many players, that the contrast between the Euros and Copa America was disgraceful. The fact that the American teams had to struggle, sometimes sharing indoor spaces for the warm-up, not having access to the fields till like mere 15 minutes before the games, whereas in Europe, we were seeing historical attendance in the games, you know, world-class amenities and facilities for the players. Why is it that us in the Americas can't provide that level of experience for our players?
I think, unfortunately, for the women's soccer leagues and teams here in America, it's a little bit harder for them to get what they deserve. At the end of the day, money talks, and unfortunately for them, sometimes not a lot of people go watch the games. The money that comes in is not the same that comes in Europe or with the boys. But at the end of the day, they're professional athletes and they deserve the best. And I think I'm very happy for Marta to speak up and to bring it up to the table. And hopefully that can change for the future for the rest of the players coming in. I think that only somebody like Marta can have that impact to make that change.
And the change is needed because it's unfair that these players will come back to their leagues and will talk to their teammates, and their experience of the summer tournaments are going to be wildly different. And let's remember, Copa America granted 2 places for the Olympics. These are big tournaments, and our players should be respected and supported throughout every level of competition. And now it's time for us to do something that our fans really, really like, and that's our predictions. And this week, ACFC takes the 3 points. Yes, they're going to pull the Clásico Heroics and beat San Diego Wave. And Orlando also takes the 3 points with Marta scoring. And unfortunately, that's all we have this week. LatiNation Futbol Club is calling it a game. But next week, we'll be back here. And you, the MVP from our team, thank you for choosing to spend this time with us in LatiNation Futbol Club. I'm your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship. Fourth, like plays great in majors. Almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win. He murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on